You slept 8 hours last night, 8 full hours, and you still woke up feeling like something ran you over while you were unconscious. Heavy eyes, slow brain, 2 coffees before you could form a sentence. And somewhere underneath all of it, that quiet, creeping thought, is this just who I am now? I want to tell you something before we go any further. You are not broken, but your evenings are costing you years off your biological life. And nobody, not your doctor, not a fitness influencer, not your smartwatch, has told you why. By the time this video ends, you will know exactly what is going wrong inside your body every night, and you'll have a 10-minute protocol, not a theory, an actual sequence that you can run tonight to trigger the deepest biological repair your body is capable of. Stay until the end because the final piece is the one most people never get to, and it is the reason every other sleep tip you have ever tried has eventually stopped working. Here at VitaWave, we believe something most health channels will never say out loud. Health is not a destination, it is a rhythm you learn to ride. We do not just treat symptoms here, we decode your biological waves to turn back the clock from the inside out. I'm Dr. Elias Site, and today, that is exactly what we are doing together. Here's what we're covering today. First, I'm going to show you exactly why you are waking up exhausted even after a full night's sleep, and it has nothing to do with how long you sleep. Then I'm going to walk you through the 4-phase biological reset sequence. Each phase takes under 3 minutes. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make this stick so you're not back at square one in 2 weeks. Let's go. Let me paint a picture that's going to feel uncomfortably familiar. It's 10 p.m. You had a full day. You were productive. You checked things off. Maybe you even squeezed in a workout. By all objective measures, today was a win. So you collapse onto the couch, you open your phone just to decompress, just for a few minutes, and suddenly it's midnight. You close everything, brush your teeth, climb into bed, and you think, good, 8 solid hours before my alarm. Tomorrow I will feel incredible. And then tomorrow comes, and you do not feel incredible. You feel like you aged 3 years in your sleep. Here's what no one has explained to you, and I want to fix that right now. In 2026, the primary threat to your long-term vitality is not how little you sleep. The science is pointing somewhere completely different. The primary threat is the failure of cellular and neurological repair, even while you believe you are resting. And the single biggest driver of that failure is what you are doing in the 60 minutes before you close your eyes. Your body doesn't just need unconsciousness, it needs a very specific biological state to begin real repair. And that state, you are accidentally blocking it every single night. Here's the invisible cost nobody talks about. When you carry unprocessed stress and elevated cortisol into your sleep window, your body is not sleeping, it's idling. Think of it like leaving your car engine running in a sealed garage all night and then wondering why it's overheating. High cortisol keeps your cells locked in low-grade inflammation. It accelerates tissue breakdown. It suppresses the hormones responsible for rebuilding muscle, clearing brain waste, and regulating your metabolism. And all of this is happening while you are completely unaware of it. You wake up and you feel it. You just haven't known what to call it. But here's what shifts everything, and this is what I want you to sit with as we go deeper. Your biological recovery is not failing because of what happens during sleep. It's failing because of what you are not doing in the 10 minutes before it. There's a critical hormonal window that opens right before you fall asleep, a window that, if you open it correctly, triggers the deepest cellular repair your body is physically capable of. And right now, most people are slamming that window shut without even realizing it. In the next section, I'm going to show you exactly what is happening inside your brain when that window closes. And once you see it, you genuinely cannot unsee it. Inside your brain right now, inside every brain on this planet, there's a cleaning system. Scientists call it the glymphatic system. Think of it as your brain's overnight waste removal crew. While you sleep, cerebrospinal fluid pulses through the spaces between your neurons, physically flushing out metabolic waste, toxic proteins, inflammatory byproducts, the cellular debris that accumulates from a full day of thinking, feeling, and processing. This is not a theory. This is documented neuroscience, one of the most significant discoveries in brain health of the past decade.
But here's the critical detail that changes everything. The glymphatic system can't activate, it can't even begin its process if your nervous system is still running in what I call high performance mode. If your brain believes it is still solving problems, processing social input, or responding to visual stimulation, the glymphatic crew receives one signal: stand by, we're still needed. So they wait, and if they wait long enough, they never do their full job. The first half of your sleep, roughly the first 3 to 4 hours after you close your eyes, is the only window your body has to perform what researchers call deep cellular maintenance. This is when DNA repair enzymes go to work. This is when neurotoxins get flushed. This is when growth hormone, the master repair signal for your entire body, reaches its peak level for the entire day. Miss this window, enter sleep in the wrong biological state, and that surge is blunted. That cleanup crew clocks out early. The damage from today carries forward into tomorrow, and the next day, and the next decade. This is not about feeling tired. This is about biological aging, the rate at which your cells degrade faster than they can rebuild. And the devastating truth, you can sleep 9 hours in the wrong state and achieve less repair than 6 hours in the right one. Now here's what I need you to hear clearly, because this is the part where people always say, "Why has nobody told me this before?" You don't need to overhaul your entire life to fix this. You need 10 minutes, the right 10 minutes, in the right sequence every night. And I promised you at the start I would tell you what the one thing is that most people skip at the very end, the thing that makes everything else work. I haven't forgotten. We're going to get there. But first, let me show you the sequence itself, because you need the full picture for the last piece to make sense. All right, let's build this together. I call this the biological reset sequence. 4 phases, each one takes under 3 minutes. Each one sends a progressively louder signal to your nervous system. The day is done. It's safe to repair. Phase 1, the light to dark shift, minutes 1 to 2. Here's something most people know intellectually, but almost nobody acts on. The light hitting your eyes right now is not a comfort variable. It's a hormonal instruction. Melatonin, the master signal that launches your entire sleep and repair cascade, is suppressed by blue and green light frequencies.
Those are the exact frequencies your phone, your laptop, and most overhead LEDs produce at full brightness, and not gently. Research shows that blue light exposure at 10 p.m. can suppress melatonin production by up to 50% for up to 3 hours after exposure ends. You are chemically preventing your own recovery every single night. So in minutes 1 and 2, here is your only job. Kill the bright overhead lights. Shift to warm amber light below 3000 Kelvin. Put your phone face down or across the room. If you must use a screen, amber blocking glasses are non-negotiable. You are not doing this for mood. You are sending a biological signal. The sun has set. Begin the hormonal sequence. That is phase 1. 2 minutes, dramatic hormonal consequence. Phase 2, the brain dump, minutes 3 to 5. Here's the second reason your brain refuses to go offline, and this one is almost entirely psychological, except that it produces completely physical consequences. When you lie down with unfinished thoughts, unresolved conversations, or tomorrow's task list floating in your mind, your brain does something very precise. It holds those loops open, like browser tabs that cannot close. And an open cognitive loop produces a measurable elevation in resting heart rate and cortisol. Your body cannot enter repair mode because your brain believes there is still work to do. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple, and yet almost nobody does it. For 2 minutes, grab a piece of paper or a notes app. Do a complete brain dump. Every open thought, every worry, every nagging idea. Out of your head, onto the page. Not organized, not sorted, just out. When it is written, your brain gets the signal it's been waiting for. Captured. I can let this go. Heart rate begins to settle. Cortisol starts its downward curve. The nervous system shifts. Phase 3 is where we push it all the way through. Phase 3, the physical override. This is where most people's approach breaks completely down, and where this protocol gets genuinely different. I want to walk you through the 4-7-8 breathing method. And before you tune out because you've heard of breathing exercises before, stay with me, because the mechanism here is not relaxation. It is direct vagus nerve stimulation.
Your vagus nerve is the information superhighway between your brain and every major organ in your body. When it receives the right signal, a specific ratio of breath, it tells your entire system total physiological safety. Cortisol drops, heart rate variability rises, your parasympathetic nervous system, your repair and recovery system, comes fully online. Here is the method. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 7 counts. Exhale completely through your mouth for 8 counts. That extended exhale is the key. It is the signal that activates the brake on your stress response. Do 3 to 4 rounds. You will feel the shift in your body within 90 seconds, not as a placebo, as a measurable neurological event. Now, immediately after your breathing, and this is the piece I am about to reveal that most people skip, you perform what I call the thermal drop. Your body temperature needs to fall roughly 1 to 2 degrees before you can enter deep sleep. Your hypothalamus watches for this drop as the signal to begin tissue repair. You can accelerate it right now by splashing cool water on your wrists and the back of your neck, or simply lowering your room temperature by 1 to 2 degrees before bed. When your core temperature drops, your hypothalamus triggers growth hormone release, the hormone responsible for muscle repair, fat metabolism, skin regeneration, and cognitive recovery. You just manually switched your body into biological repair mode. And that brings me to phase 4, the part I told you at the start that most people never reach. Phase 4, the identity reset. In the final 60 seconds before you close your eyes, I want you to say one thing to yourself, out loud if you can, silently if you must. I am someone who recovers deeply. My body knows how to repair itself. Tonight, that work begins. This is not affirmation as performance. This is cognitive priming. What your brain believes about your body in the last conscious moment of your day directly influences the hormonal and neurological state it holds through your first sleep cycle. The people who use this protocol consistently, who make it non-negotiable, are not more disciplined than you. They just decided at some point that this is simply what they do. It became identity, and identity is the most powerful biological lever there is. You are not trying to sleep better tonight. You are becoming someone whose biology repairs deeply every single night. That's phase 4. 60 seconds, the one that makes all the others permanent. I want to stop for a moment and be honest with you about something. I didn't come to this information from a textbook. There was a period in my own life, this was about 8 years ago, where I was sleeping 7, 8, sometimes 9 hours a night, and I was exhausted every morning without exception. I had brain fog that lasted until noon. I was irritable in ways that were affecting my relationships. I was doing everything right by every standard measure, and I was falling apart at a cellular level. And the thing that made it so isolating was this. From the outside, everything looked fine. I was functional. I was successful. Nobody could see what was happening inside. And that's the cruelest part of biological exhaustion. It's invisible to everyone except you. The 10-minute protocol I have just shared with you is what changed that for me. And it's what I have since shared with thousands of VitaWave community members who came to me with the same quiet desperation I once felt. Here's what actually happens when you get this right consistently. Your glymphatic system runs its full overnight cycle. Your brain flushes the neurotoxic waste that builds from daily cognitive load. Your DNA repair enzymes have the full hormonal environment they need. Your skin, your muscles, your immune markers, your metabolic rate, every system in your body receives the signal, tonight is a full repair night. This compounds over days, over weeks. Within 1 week of this protocol, most people report waking up with a clarity and a physical lightness they had forgotten was possible. Within 3 to 4 weeks, the changes go deeper. Inflammatory markers quiet, cognitive function sharpens, and for many people, the biological age metrics they had been tracking start, for the first time, to move in the right direction. I've had people in their late 50s tell me they feel the way they did at 38, not because of a drug, not because of a diet,
because we gave their body back the one window it needed to do exactly what it was always designed to do: repair itself. I want that for you too. And there is one more thing I need to share with you, because knowing the protocol is not the same thing as living it. Everything I've shared with you is real. The science holds, the protocol works, and if you close this video right now and do exactly what I described tonight, all 4 phases in sequence, you will feel a genuine difference when you wake up tomorrow morning. I want you to tell me in the comments when you do. Specifically, I want you to answer this. When was the last time you woke up and your first thought was not about coffee or your phone, but about how rested your body actually felt? Write that answer below, because that moment, we are going to bring it back for you, consistently. But here's what I've learned after working with thousands of people on their biology. Knowing something and consistently doing something are two completely different skills. Life creates friction, a stressful Wednesday, a late dinner, a work deadline. It pushes everything back by 2 hours. And one skipped night becomes 2 nights, and 2 becomes a week. And before you know it, you're back to waking up exhausted and wondering why you cannot seem to make anything stick. This is not a failure of willpower. This is a failure of infrastructure. And the people who have transformed their recovery, the ones who now genuinely cannot imagine going back to the way they used to sleep, did not try harder. They built a better environment, one that makes the right choice the default, not the exception. This is exactly why I built the Deep Repair Performance System for the VitaWave community. Inside the membership, you get the complete nightly protocol guide, a structured evening-by-evening framework that takes everything you learned today and makes it automatic. No decisions required. No willpower tax. You get the magnesium and nutrient timing stack, the specific supplementation protocol that amplifies everything this 10-minute sequence initiates, supporting your glymphatic function, your vagus nerve response, and your overnight growth hormone production from within. You get the digital detox templates, smart lighting schedules, notification systems, and screen management protocols built for high performers who cannot simply disconnect from the world, but still need full biological recovery every night. And you get the community. VitaWave members who are actively doing this work, sharing results, asking the real questions, and making consistency feel natural because they are surrounded by people who have already made this their standard. The people inside this program are not people who are simply hoping to sleep better. They are people who have decided at the level of identity that deep biological recovery is not a luxury. It is the foundation of every other goal they have. Physical, cognitive, professional, personal. All of it sits on this foundation. When you recover deeply, you perform differently. You think more clearly. You make better decisions. You're more present with the people you love. You age from the inside out, on your terms, not the clock's. That's what we build together at VitaWave. We started this conversation with a feeling, that quiet, heavy morning feeling of wondering if this is just who you are now. I want to leave you with a different identity entirely. The version of you that wakes up clear, genuinely rested, and biologically recovered is not some version of yourself you left behind years ago. That version is available to you tonight, not with a complete life overhaul, not with a promise that things will be different if you just try harder. With 10 intentional minutes done in the right sequence, working with your biology instead of accidentally fighting it. Here at VitaWave, health is not a destination. It's a rhythm you learned to ride. We don't just treat symptoms. We decode your biological waves, and we turn back the clock from the inside out. That's this channel. That's this work. And if what we covered today resonated with you, here's what I want you to do right now. First, try the protocol tonight, all 4 phases in order, and come back tomorrow morning and tell me in the comments how you felt when you woke up. I read every single comment. I'll see yours. Second, if you're ready to stop leaving your recovery to chance, if you want the full system, the guide, the nutrient protocols, the community, the link is right below this video. Click it, read what's inside, and make the decision that's right for you. No urgency. But if you've been waking up exhausted for longer than you're proud of, I think you already know what you need to do. Third, if someone in your life is running on empty right now, share this video with him. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for another person is simply hand them the information that changes everything. And if this is your first time here, welcome to VitaWave. Hit subscribe, because in the next video, we're going inside the morning protocol that pairs with tonight's sequence to build a complete 24-hour biological optimization cycle. We're going to talk about the cortisol awakening response and the 4-minute morning window that the most elite performers in the world are quietly using to lock in peak cognitive performance for the entire day ahead. That one is going to change your mornings the same way today changed your nights. I'll see you there. Take care of your biology tonight, and it will take care of you tomorrow.